Tom Quigley. Tom, how are you? And this topic I really, really like. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm just living the dream.
You're living the dream of saving people money. So,
Yes, I am.
and it's not the Geico commercial. Remember, I think it's going to be a Gator. And there's a really cool
I'm afraid of
episode.
Geico's. I told you about the one that bit me.
Yes, we're going to get a Gator instead. Did
I'm
Gator
not afraid
done?
of
Gator
gators.
done. If you watched the latest episode on Poker Face,
Yeah,
Gator done. Gator. It was like a guy, it was a
yeah.
police officer that had a gator.
Right.
So we have to get you a gator.
The guy there, see, the Geico's like give you paper cuts. Those hurt worse than, having to have a few stitches from a gator.
No, we're gonna get a gator for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Just like if Mike Tyson can have a tiger, you can have a gator. All right.
I
Okay.
agree with you, man. Call him
Okay.
Gator.
Okay. So and
Yeah.
because you're really cutting the benefits with a big bite of an alligator. Okay. Our topic today.
I always wanted to wrestle a gator because I thought it'd be fun.
So we have to make that happen. Our topic today is how to audit your health plan like a CFO. And that's a chief financial officer for people who might not know what that is in the C suite. So, really, how do we kind of audit our health plans if we are business owners, regardless we have a size of employees of 5 employees to 10,000 employees as the chief financial officer?
Well, it's funny you mentioned this because I this morning talked to a fractional CFO where small companies hire him to come in and show them ways to shift liabilities over to the asset column. Everything from you're paying too much for this, and this, and you can do this, and this, but in terms of the health insurance and benefits, I mean, they should be all over it because they're all about numbers making the company profitable. So, like I've mentioned time and time again, if you have $100,000 that you're overpaying on health insurance and you shift that over to the asset column, a CFO is all over that because they're looking at it going, that's equivalent to, 10% sale. That's equivalent to $1 million sale. It's equivalent to EBITDA, factor of 5, increases our value by 500,000. And on the employee's balance sheet, they get better benefits. But for whatever reason, the CFOs, a lot of them let the HR departments make the decision on the health insurance when they are the numbers people. I mean, how many CFOs, most of them aren't too emotional, right? They're all numbers. They were the ones that the reason I got out of accounting because on Friday nights at college, they were studying while I was out having a few beers with the boys and girls. Um, but they get numbers. And for me, our solution's all about numbers. It's not emotional. It's all about numbers. And CFOs fit the bill. The only issue that they have is they haven't been allowed on particularly mid-sized companies, 50 to 500, let's say, they haven't been allowed to really be the decision makers on their benefits. The ones that have, I call them clients usually because it's just numbers.
So, where most businesses lose money without realizing it, where do they, how are they losing money with their current
Couple
health?
with health insurance, they're just giving away thousands of unnecessary premiums to insurance companies. They don't have to, or they're taking on too many unnecessary risks, self-funding it traditionally. Um, Other ways they're losing is on prescriptions. They're funding the prescriptions that in turn hurt them at renewal because the insurance companies know what drugs everyone's on. They're not taking advantage of the Affordable Care Act or the HIPAA laws or the Section 105 laws. And what they're doing is not, they just haven't been involved.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not involved in that process. And what should you look for if you're a CFO? You look at the premiums,
First,
but how do
yeah,
you look? Yeah.
but you look at the premium. We're giving Blue Cross of X 100,000 per month, which equates to 1.2 million. And if we went to Blue Cross and asked them for the lowest cost option, now all of a sudden our premium goes down to 55,000. Well, let's get the calculator out. If our worst case risk is 7 and we're currently at 5 and we save $3,000, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that we're guaranteed to save $1,000. They get excited because as excited as they can get because it's all numbers. So they look at it and they go, wait a minute, not everyone hits that. Well, no kidding. That means you get to save 3,000 on 80% of your employees, and the other 20 you give away 2 of the 3. It's that
Yeah,
simple.
no doubt. It seems like that simple. And I think that once they schedule a call for that free audit, they can understand more and more what you can save them.
Yeah, and they probably get 100 calls a day from eager insurance agents wanting to charge them the same amount and earn the commissions versus the other guy or girl. And all we're doing is sitting there going, now we're going to work on what we save you. We're going to carve the commissions out in a lot of the cases. And this is how it works. Do you have a problem with that?
And you're going to do all the work for them. It's not like when you have to go through
Mm-mm.
buying it from, they're just saying, thank you for your money. Here's your bill. See you later.
Right. I had one today, a smaller company out north, up by you in Akron. And they literally, I showed them they have 20 something employees, and I showed the one young lady, she's paying $450 a month for her and her kids, and the company's picking up another 600. And I showed her, hey, you realize you qualify for tax breaks that made her premium 0. And I was like to the company, that's $9,600 one person. We took the others, and they were funding a health savings account. And I was like, you don't do that. And they saved $60,000 for 22 people.
See, that's crazy. And it's just like,
It's just math.
well, see, you keep saying it's just math, but you have something ingenious you created.
A lot of people, it is a lot of emotions that people, you know, don't think it through. I mean, we all know a lot of people on Facebook and other social media, right? Everyone likes telling everyone bad news. Think this through. All your friends under 65, not over, under. How many of them spent time in a hospital or had surgery last year? If they died, they didn't cost anything if they died instantly. But if they, I'm not trying to be morbid, I'm just stating the facts. I could count 4 out of like 500.
Me too.
Well, the insurance companies are making everyone feel like everyone hits it. So they think, make everyone think if you have 100 people in a group, you're going to have 100 people who hit that $5,000 deductible. Well, the reality is, this is kind of funny. 8% of people under 65 hit a $5,000 deductible. Out of that 8%, over half qualify for programs that will pay for all their deductible, part of it, or most of it. So it ends up being 4 out of every 100 people costs you with the medical expense reimbursement plan. We've been doing this over 20 years. We have all the data. We know.
Exactly. And the best place to go, Tom, is where?
Claimlinks.com.
All right. That was the special simulcast.